What is going on, everybody on YouTube? Griffin here, just coming back to you all with another live stream. Hopefully everything's working all right for you guys. Of course, if you're new to me, new to the live streams and everything in general, these live streams are for you guys specifically. So if you have any questions or, even insight questions, anything like that about starting, specifically a pest control business, but, even if, you have a service business, as I start to get everything kind of more organized on my desk, thought I had this all organized this morning. But if you have any questions, in regards to starting a business, growing your business, that type of thing, a lot of you guys I know have already started your business and you're kind of, either very, very early on, you're probably at or below $100,000 is usually what most of the audience is at. A lot of you guys I know haven't even started your own business and you're kind of in that early stage where you're doing some research, you're, trying to figure out, if I'm trying to start a pest control business specifically, what licensing do I need? What, how do I make sure I'm following the laws and the regs and this and that and the other? So, if you have any questions about any of that, don't hesitate to shout it out in the chat below. Today, as a matter of fact, what I'm primarily doing is I'm actually answering your all's questions, and I am working on the business on the back end of things as well. I found out a way where I can, do these live streams for you guys and not expose like all of the back end business stuff, I guess, if that makes sense. A lot of my like personal stuff where people could like hack my website, hack my Google ads, and this and that and the other. So I'm working on some things as well, and whenever I think whatever I'm talking about will apply to where you guys need to see something, I'll open up the window as well to where you guys can actually see, what we're talking about. Speaking of which, I do have a platform that I just found over the weekend. You guys know down here in my area, we got a lot of, freezing temps and snow and ice, this and that, and had some time to just do some more research and things like that. And we found a app. Well, it's not an app, it's a platform for Google Ads. I'm going to get this pulled up here so I can show you guys what it looks like. And hopefully, there we go. So the platform is called Check ClickSees. So if you're looking it up, it's CHEQ, and then just ClickSees. If you type in ClickSees, it's one word, it will pop up for you relatively easy. They're a well-known company apparently, and what this is it's designed to help you guys. And I actually have a video coming out about ClickSees, so you're all getting kind of a little sneak peek into that. But I've been using it now for about 4 days. I think we're on day 4 now. And you get a free 1-week trial. We don't have like an affiliate link or anything for you guys at the moment, but we just started using this week, and you can tell already, I put in $20. You can change this. Our average cost per click is actually around 25 so far this week. So it is telling us so far this week, it has saved us 14 clicks. And at our average rate of $25 per click that we're paying, that's $350 of savings on our ad spend. And it gives you like a cool breakdown in terms of, what campaigns, have had the most fraudulent activity, what type of fraudulent activity there was out of geo. So you can literally set it up to where, we have it set up where any traffic that's trying to come in from outside the US, we want to block altogether. Simply because, of course, our clients are in the U.S., right? We're a pest control business. There's no reason for anyone outside of the U.S. to see our ad, right? And especially click on our ad. If someone's out of the U.S., is there that slim possibility where they, are traveling for business and, they remembered that they have a pest issue or something? Sure, but most of the time it's going to be fraud, right? As we can see here, we've had 3 blocks out of Brazil, 1 out of Bangladesh. We've had a couple in the US as well. Now, this doesn't mean that it's blocking US activity, of course. This is just saying, your top 5 fraudulent countries so far in the last week. US, of course, being number 1, not surprised. Brazil, close second. And then randomly we have Bangladesh. And there at number 3, which Bangladesh was actually our first IP block that we got. So what it does is it essentially goes in and blocks like the IP addresses, is kind of what I was gathering from the company. And it'll even break down in terms of your fraud by device. It lets you know that, hey, 38% of the clicks, they're low threat. That means they're actually legit customers looking to do business with you or another company, while 31% have a substantial threat of being fraud, meaning they could have clicked on the website, left within 5 seconds. You can go in and set settings for that too, based on 5 seconds, 10 seconds, whatever you may wish. I believe we have ours set to 7. We kind of split the difference and did 7 seconds. And we allow them to click on our ads twice within a period of 2 minutes before they'd be blocked. Again, it seems to be so far, a cool platform. You can connect Facebook ads, Google ads, Microsoft ads, all your different campaigns. Is super easy to do as well. You just need, of course, your Google Ads account number. You plug that in here, and then you have to like go into your Google Ads and accept that you want to add them as like a quote unquote account manager or something like that. And yeah, that's all you need to do. And like I said, I mean, it shows that out of 13 visits, 8 of them have been blocked, meaning that like it shows here, almost 2/3 of them were either substantial or critical, meaning like they were for a fact fraudulent clicks, and they will get blocked right away. Like I said, it gives you a breakdown in terms of why they were blocked. Out of geo, 4, bounced 3, and then VPN is one of those things where I'm tempted to remove it. That's the other thing too. You can really customize this tool to your liking. Like, a lot of people say they don't want to block VPNs because a lot of people anymore will use VPNs pretty much anytime they're out in public. So it's one of those things that I'm just going to kind of monitor. Do we have a lot of consistently VPNs showing up? If it stays relatively low like this so far this week, only 1, I'll probably just leave it on there. But that's one of them settings where it's more of a to each their own, if that makes sense. But yeah, no, definitely so far. Now there is a couple things to consider, because a lot of people are like, well, how does it work exactly? Like, how are they saving you that money? The main thing is they have, from what I understand, a whole bunch of data of all of these different IP addresses and things of that nature, pretty much like I don't want to say a catalog. I don't think that's the right terminology, the right word I want to use, but to a certain degree, a catalog of just thousands, if not millions, of IP addresses that are known to be fraudulent IP addresses, click farms, things of that nature, where your competitors will pay these bots, these click farms, these companies to go and click on your ads and try to drain your ad budget. And what will happen is those will get blocked, like they're blocked already from clicking on your ad, from what I understand. And then the other thing too is, of course, is once they visit your page, for example, down here, it was telling us that some of them were blocked for bouncing. So that means 3 IP addresses were added. So yes, there is a catch-22 with this to a certain degree, because of course, for the ones that are bouncing within 5 seconds, 7 seconds, 10, whatever you set that bounce rate at, those obviously they've already clicked on the ad, and you're going to be charged for that before that IP is blocked going forward, if that makes sense. So yeah, you are technically losing that money in terms of a click, but the things like out of geo, and like I said, all the thousands, if not millions, of IP addresses that they already know of that are already automatically blocked, you're going to be saving a lot. Like, for example, this right here, 4 of them being out of the geography, that for a fact, saved us at least $80 to $100 so far this week in terms of, fraudulent activity. And, like I said, it says 14 clicks saved. that part I am kind of wondering about, like where exactly does that number come from? You know, like how do they know, like are these again those IP addresses that are already blocked and that they prevented from clicking on the ad? Like when they went to click on the ad, it, you know, wouldn't allow them to do so, and like that of course saved us the money. That part, like I said, I'm still kind of learning about. Again, I just started using this tool January 14th, so you know we're on what, day 3, day 4 of using this tool. But so far, you know, I can tell you guys from my experience within my Google ad, I was actually going to start editing this, but so far our costs have come down a little bit in terms of cost per day. Now, again, it's something that I'm going to keep an eye on. It comes with a free 7-day trial, so I figured I'll try the trial. I'll pay the $69 for probably at least 1 month, you know, give it an honest try, 5 weeks or so of using it. And, you know, I'll let you guys know kind of my overall thoughts, and if I think it's something that, you know, you guys should maybe look into, then I'll definitely, you know, let you guys know along the way. But I wanted to check the chat real quick. And by the way, I do have the chat pulled up on my screen where, you know, I don't have to actually keep the chat pulled up where, you know, it's super visible anymore. Like it's kind of just blended in, or at least it's supposed to be. Let's put it that way. You know, it's supposed to be, right? I know for sure whenever I am on this mode right here, you guys can see the chat. It's kind of faded out. I may have to actually add it here for you guys. Let's see. How do I want to do this? We'll go back here. We'll add this for you guys. What is it? We'll go in here and do this. Boom. And I actually want to take and put it over here for you guys. Hopefully it'll cooperate with me a little bit. Come here. I'm trying to get it to blend in for you guys. And of course, like I said too, if you all have any questions as you're tuning in, do not hesitate to drop it in the chat, which is why I'm actually getting it to go in here. I don't like how that looks. I like to at least be able to see the chat some for you guys. Let's see, screen, something like that. We'll see how that works. But yeah. So what we're doing right now is focusing again on the never-ending Google Ads strategy. There was something in here that I was wanting to actually take off of our ads. So keyword and then busy, text us for pest control, experience pest-free living, location, get award-winning pest control. Your first service on us, family and pet friendly. So let's see. What we'll do is I want to actually pull up my campaign as well. So this is our updated landing page, by the way. I don't recall if I mentioned in the stream over the weekend about how we were actually in the process of editing our landing pages and things of that nature for Google Ads. So I don't know if you guys notice, our, you know, header section is different now. We found a plugin for WordPress where you can create menus literally for every single page of your website if you wish. So it's really cool for like landing pages, because, you know, with landing pages, you don't really want to give them a bunch of different links to click on. You want to be pretty straightforward with what you want them to do. So at the very top, of course, we have a number, we have call for a free estimate, we have our call button in the header, which we created over the weekend. And then of course we have kind of our heading, quote unquote, you know, experience a pest-free home today. Your first service is on us. We have our call now button. I've been experimenting. I've been thinking about going ahead and making this button say click to call now, or click here to call now, like some kind of actual, like this is a call to action. Of course, you're saying, you know, call now, but you know, some people might think like, okay, do I click on it? Like, you know, you want to make it as blatant obvious as possible, like what is going to happen if you click this button. In my opinion, just simply saying call now should be enough. But, you know, I've been hearing from some people that, you know, have a lot of experience in like ClickFunnels, landing pages, things of that nature, who are like, yeah, you want to dumb it down, like, you know, hand your phone with your landing page on it to, you know, your grandmother, for example, and say, you know, fill out a form to get a quote on this website right here, or call this company from this website right here. Like, do, you know, do a legit trial with somebody, you know, an experiment with somebody who is maybe less technologically advanced, and see if they can figure it out. Because if they can figure it out, then of course everybody in your target audience is going to be able to figure it out. But the whole idea is with these landing pages, we want to make it as straightforward as possible. You know, we kind of edited this a little bit. We kind of shortened it up. We had a lot of text in here before. We kind of, you know, again, award-winning, everything that we have in our headline for our Google ads. And then, you know, just a short little 2 or 3 sentences, you know, about like why we're the best. Again, just some bullet points. And then, you know, right before our little form here, choose preferred pest management, where quality, service, and safety are our top priorities. Submit. You know, we could change the name of that button. I didn't even think about that. We could put, you know, instead of submit, maybe we might change this to, you know, get your free service now button, you know, or we wouldn't say button, of course, we would just say get your free service now, or something of that nature, you know, click to get your free service, or something of that nature. But then again, you know, just the standard, you know, reminding them what their problem is, that we understand why our solution is best, and then, you know, what our guarantee is on top of that. Mention, of course, that, you know, hey, we've got over 100 5-star reviews on Google. Put some of them on there. Don't just copy and paste them. I can't stress that enough. Actually go in, have a plugin of some kind that will create like a carousel, like what we have here, where it'll just continue to pretty much run on a loop of all these different reviews, if that makes sense. Make it look as legit as possible. Ideally, I might look into this. I don't know if the plugin I use, if we can actually put the picture in there or not. I would think so, but it should be doing it automatically, so that is kind of strange. But pretty much the more authentic you can make these reviews look, the better. Of course, in my opinion, you know, the fact that we have the reviews here that literally call me out by name, call our company out by name, and are super, you know, in depth. Well, this one's just a 5-star review. I don't know how that one snuck in, but you know, you want to make it look as authentic as possible. Right before that, again, another call to action, call now button. And then, you know, if you want to plug in some stuff down here, you know, you can. I don't think it's really going to make a difference. But, and then again, call now, contact us. Again, you want to have those clear call to actions. Make it as easy as possible for, you know, somebody to access the website at the end of the day. Just checking the chat real quick, seeing if you guys have any questions. Doesn't look like we have any so far. I see we got a couple you tuning in. Hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you're getting any value from this, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button, of course. And like I said, you know, we're looking at this landing page right now, and I'm trying to see, you know, how can I make, you know, my headlines better, if that makes sense, you know, more something that people actually want to click on. You know, we have keyword, which means, again, if you all missed the stream that we did recently, you know, we have the actual, it's called like keyword insertion. So what'll happen is whenever you put this like this with the bracket and everything, and it says, you know, keyword or location and city. So what'll happen is, you know, say someone types in pest control near me, right? That is what's going to show up first, and then it'll say busy, text us for pest control. Or sometimes it won't even put that in there. It'll just show the keyword plus location. That's where, again, Google's AI, their technology that they have, it will do a couple different variations, see what your potential customers are responding to the best, like what's getting you the most clicks, because obviously this campaign is maximized for max clicks, and they will show those headlines the most, if that makes sense. So like right now it shows our ad strength is at a average, which isn't bad. You know, you want either average or, you know, excellent. Ideally, if you can get excellent, that's awesome. But, you know, as long as it says average, you know, that's going to be good. You're going to be, generally speaking, getting a slightly lower. See how up here it says University Park? That is a location. So that's telling me that someone in University Park at some point received our ad. Another one here, you know, it says busy Texas for pest control. That was this line here. And then it said location city, where it's at Garland. So, you know, you get somewhat of an idea of, see right here where it says bug services near me. That was the keyword insertion. So it's just cool to see, you know, in real time how that kind of looks. Let's see, experience pest-free living, family and pet friendly. Pest-free living, family, okay. So what I want to do is I want to take this out. Delete. And then let's go back to our landing page. Just trying to see if we can see anything on our landing page that, you know, we could probably mention something about our reviews. Let's go, where are we at? There we go. Let's see, what could we put in here? Something about the reviews. We have over 100. Come on now. 5-star reviews. Ah, man, that's just one character too much. Let's see, how could we change this to get it under that limit? We have over 100 5-star reviews. I would say testimonials, but that, I believe, is a longer word than reviews. That's the other thing with these Google headlines, guys, is like, man, I hate how I understand why they put a character limit on it, but 30 characters, like, come on now, that's not even a, let's see, family and pet friendly service. Your first service is on us. Get award-winning pest control. Let's see. See, and sometimes what I'll even do too is I'll do what's called some cheating. So we're gonna type in just pest control. Of course, it's gonna show a bunch of our stuff first. Let's see, $50 off pest control, industry leading warranty. There we go. Let's steal that real quick. Industry leading warranty. I like how that's worded. See, you don't got to recreate the wheel. Industry leading warranty. Oops. There we go. Let's try that out. So we got keyword. So again, just to recap, when you have the keyword insertion in here like this with the brackets and everything, how it's going to work is, you know, we might even see a option, or not an option, but an example of this pop up here. What'll happen is, say someone types in pest control near me, right? It would show their keyword first, what they typed in, you know, pest control near me. And then after that, either A, Google can go ahead and say industry leading warranty, or, you know, sometimes Google will do just the keyword and then the city, because we have that in here as well, where it'll plug in whatever city that they live in. So say they type in pest control near me again, it may say pest control near me, Allen, pest control near me, Dallas, you know, things of that nature. Again, it's kind of like this one right here, Plano. It plugged in the city, and then it said experience pest-free living, our option right up here. It already, see how it didn't show the keyword, but it showed our fill of industry-leading warranty, and it showed something else. I don't remember which one it showed. Oh, family and pet friendly service, whichever one that was. Yeah, right there. So again, Google's going to kind of play around with that, and it's kind of up to their discretion early on in terms of what's working best. That's that's what their AI and their technology and all of that is there for, because it's based on whatever is allowing your ad to perform the best. So let's see, it gives us some ideas here. Best pest control company. Let's get some more ideas, see what they have here. Contact us today, call for a free estimate, request a quote online, schedule your appointment. Let's see, best pest control company. I guess we go ahead and plug that in there as well. That ain't gonna hurt nothing. Best pest control company. Yeah. I do not like to throw, I used to do this before I found out that you can actually plug in the actual location, and that has been a game changer for our ad. So what we used to do is we would go in and plug in our headlines each city that we were targeting, and what that was actually doing is creating ads that would put just 2 city names, and I was like, what the hell is going on? And then I learned that, oh, you can actually plug this in here based on city, state, all of that. So then that actually, one, it frees up a lot of headline spaces, and 2, you don't have that conflicting search. What's going on? I got the chat pulled up over here as well for you guys. What's going on? Freddie says, what's up? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, I hope you're doing well as well, man. How's it going? Justin said, do you input your materials into GorillaDesk and then fill out separate record form, or does GorillaDesk have a feature that allows you to have material information integrated with a record form? So if I'm understanding the question correctly, you're asking, well, like, I know what you're asking, but in terms of, like, to answer that question, I should say, they have, I can show you kind of what they have. I'll just pull up my GorillaDesk here. I was messing with it earlier. So what you would do is you would go into reports, and then you have, where is it? There you go, material usage. So you can go in here and you can do it, day by day, week by week, month by month. I could say, let me see this whole year so far. It'll tell you your number of applications, which reminds me, I need to fill out what I used at my bedbug job today. Oh, that bedbug job was nasty, y'all. Let me tell y'all what, man. I'm gonna have to post some pictures that I took of it for you guys in Discord and in our Facebook group, which, if you're all not in those, by the way, definitely join those so you don't miss out on all of the free game there as well. Let's see. How's it going, Angel? Nothing like being in class with Griff during lunch. How's it going? Yes, sir. Your Google ads are, let me see, are pay-per-click or SEO or both. So SEO is going to be totally different from the Google ads in general. SEO is just going to be, how we're working on the website and this and that. I mean, to a certain degree, SEO does go into Google ads, because you're going to, go in here and optimize your landing pages to get people to either fill out your form, call you, whatever the case may be. I'm actually in the process of creating an A to B test, or maybe even A to B to C test, where, I have this main form here with a bunch of call now, call now, call now, call now. And then, okay, we have a form here for people that want the form. And then, you scroll down, call now. And then you scroll down some more, call now. Like, it's blatant obvious what I want people to do is call now, but I do have the form option. Kind of getting off on a little tangent here. I'll go back to answering the GorillaDesk question here in just a second, Justin. But I'm creating some tests with landing pages where we're going to have, like, just a call now landing page where there's no form whatsoever. It'll be just call now buttons, you know, not just all over the page, obviously, but, you know, in places where you would expect people to call you, right? And then we will also do one where there's really no call now button outside of what's in our headers. And then, you know, like this button here wouldn't exist. We'd have our form. This button wouldn't exist. This one still would because it's in the footer. But you know, it'd be more of we'd probably have two forms. We'd have a form probably up here right at the beginning. They call this the hero section. We'd probably replace this with a form. We would probably flip our reviews to being up here. We'd probably just push this whole section right here down below the reviews. Again, just some A to B, B to C, you know, all these different tests that we can do with our landing pages. But that is how, you know, in terms of how SEO can relate, you know, you're more so just optimizing landing pages, I guess. SEO is going to be when you're optimizing like your home page, your service pages, your service location pages, getting backlinks, doing blog posts around, you know, building some domain authority around, you know, the topic of pest control X city, right? That's going to be more so your SEO, where, you know, what we're kind of referring to is, yeah, Google Ads PPC, if that makes sense. So yeah, I mean, they're different things. The ads that we are running right now are PPC campaigns. I do intend longer term of converting these over, or at least, you know, a couple of them, the ones that are, you know, working, right, into what is it called, conversion based targeting, or I forget how Google words it exactly, because when you are bidding on your campaigns, you can bid based on, you know, cost per click. You can bid based on, you know, what you want your cost per conversion to be, things of that nature. Long term, you know, once you start getting conversions on said landing page where Google knows kind of, oh, okay, this is the conversion they're going for, it makes it easier for you to set up conversion based advertising within Google, I guess, if that makes sense. It's kind of hard to explain. Once I walk through, you know, an example, I'll probably record it for you guys so you guys can see it. You set it up the same way. It's just when you're picking your goal of the campaign, you're picking conversions instead of, you know, going with a PPC campaign, if that makes sense. Let's see. Oh yeah, we were talking about GorillaDesk. That's right. Speaking of which, I don't know why the chat is so light, because I have it inserted here for you guys. Let me try something here. Ooh, I made it even worse. Let me try. See how this looks. Yeah, I made it worse. No. I guess we'll just leave it like that. That's fine. Better to have it there than not have it at all. Let me see. So yeah, we're talking about conversion, or not conversion tracking. We're talking about material usage tracking. Let's see. How's it going? Arslan. Oh man, I don't want to butcher your name. How's it going though? Do you use GorillaDesk contract terms and conditions, or do you create your own? For the most part, I just use GorillaDesk. Technically, the insurance provider I use, Lipka, has their own contracts for things like termite, bedbug, that type of thing. Which what we plan on doing is like taking their contract, editing it, you know, some of the terminology, not a lot of the legal jargon, but some of the terminology, editing it to our liking, and then uploading it into GorillaDesk. That is one cool feature that GorillaDesk has to offer as well, is you can pay them just like a one-time fee if you like have different contracts that you want to use. But ever since I've been in business, I've just been using theirs. Theirs are pretty, you know, let me just like look up. I can use my account as a, you know, dummy example for you guys. let me see. So we can go over here to documents. You know, this is the pest control service agreement, for example. Preview. Pretty straightforward. It's going to be different per state too. Like for Texas, for example, we have to, you know, have this little BS in here about, you know, licensed and regulated by the Texas Department of Agriculture, this and that. So some are going to be slightly different than others, but most of them, like state to state, are going to be very similar. You know, you have your basic customer information, all of the pests that they're covered under, service treatment frequency, months, things of that nature. And what we do here, because a lot of you guys know we charge per year or per month for like quarterly service, is we'll plug in the initial charge, sales tax, and where it says regular service charge, say they're paying per month, this is where we'd plug in, you know, $39 per month, and then we just say 1st or 15th or 28th, whatever their payment date is. And if they're paying per year, then on that initial service, you just put the yearly amount there, the sales tax, and then where it says regular service charge, we'll put in, you know, what the yearly amount is going forward. And instead of saying, you know, per month on the 1st, you just say /YR, you know, per year. And then, you know, fill in your total annual amount, this and that. And then, of course, you have, you know, your terms and conditions. You guys can read through the GorillaDesk ones if you wish. Like I said, I mean, there's minor things in there that ideally I would like to change, specifically within, like, the guarantee. But the guarantee, because, like, you know, like, we're not refunding. Like that, for example, like, we just don't do. But we've never had it come up either. So, I mean, if it ever comes up, and, you know, push comes to shove, we'll go ahead and do it. But like I said, in 3+ years, we've never had that issue. And if it does end up happening, then at that point, that'll probably light a fire under my ass to get my own contract uploaded in there. But my whole point with like uploading your own contract in there too is they just charge like a one-time fee, just one and done. It makes it where you can do the electronic signature, all that stuff like you would do here with their own, you know, where you can plug in all the info, have the, you know, customer signature, your signature, all that good fun stuff. Same thing, right? You're just using your own form. I forget the price off the top of my head. I've heard some people say 35. I thought I remember like way back when I first signed up for GorillaDesk and I asked about it, I could have swore it was like 75 or 95, but that's a question I'll have to ask Chris at some point as well. And then, you know, there's other things in here too. Like, of course, mine are mostly the Texas ones, the graph for doing our termite graph, things of that nature. But like I said, they have all sorts of, you know, different ones that you can add. I was trying to see how. Oh, that's because I'm in an account. I'd have to actually go into the settings of my GorillaDesk account to show you guys just all the, because they have them for like every state here. Let's see. Justin said, I'm joining your Discord group. Yeah, no, it's totally free. Definitely suggest you guys, if you're not in there, join. We have like 300 members in there. Same with Facebook. We're now over 100, like 110, 120 of you guys in there as well. And by the way, those of you that are in the Facebook group as well, I feel like it's becoming more of just like me notifying everybody when we're going live or posting a video. You guys can chat it up in there too. Like, feel free to ask your questions just like you do on Discord. I find that Facebook tends to be better because something about the whole Facebook post with comments and things, it makes Facebook, or it makes, you know, chatting about different subjects, you know, specifically business, pest control, things of that nature. It makes it where it's more of like a forum, if that makes sense. Like where people go in and chat like a, you know, some type of forum. Or Discord, you know, if there's enough people in there chatting, it can get kind of, you know, discombobulated a little bit. But both are cool. We have lots of you guys joining that day by day, which is awesome to see. Let's see. What I've been doing is grabbing the information like materials and weather Customer information entering into a record form. Yeah, that's what I was doing as well. Like I don't have them on me right now, but I have, like, to this day, a book of tickets that I had bought online where, I'd have to manually enter in the whole thing, right? And I got tired of that after about 2 services and signed up for GorillaDesk and never looked back. And if you guys are wondering what I'm looking at, I have my iPad here just so I can have the chat pulled up. I mean, I guess I could technically pull it up on my end as well. Let's see what else we got here. Actually, that is a little bit too small, so I'll just do it this way. Easier to read it this way. Arsalan said, I watch your videos, are very informative. Oh, I appreciate it. I'm always glad to hear they help. Can you make a series about how to start A to Z pest control business? Because I want to start my own, but scared to start my own business. Or you start mentoring. Yeah, like I do have, the website, griffinbthomas.com, which is in my LinkTree, I believe, in the description box. If, you did want quote unquote mentorship, like I always tell everybody, you guys don't need that or anything, but if you want, say, 30 minutes, an hour, whatever the case may be, you can click that link. It'll send me, a form essentially that you're wanting that. And then I can like reach out to you, set something up. Usually we do like Google Meet for that, things of that nature. And yeah, like overall, I just kind of more so in terms of doing, when you say A to Z, I'm assuming you mean like beginning to finish, like setting up a business. I pretty much just document everything, and when it comes to starting a pest control business, it's gonna vary state to state. I always say start out with your Department of Agriculture, if that makes sense. Like, say you're in California, go to the California Department of Agriculture website and look up the requirements to start a pest control business, and then go from there. I do have a lot of content on like what it kind of took early on. I talk about that a lot, what it took early on getting started, the money aspect. I always try to, stay up to date and, like I said, just document my overall journey of like things that work, things that don't work, how much money we spend, yada, 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 all that good stuff. But yeah, like I said, if for some reason you did want like consulting or mentorship, whatever you want to call it, because I've had recently a lot of you guys asking about that. I made that website, griffinbthomas.com. It's not just for that, but you can submit a form on there. Let me know what you're looking for, and then we can look to set something up for you as well. Don't know why my wife is calling me. Give me just a second. All right. But yeah, and then there's other resources on there too. I remember earlier this past summer, I put my it's like a basic sales script. A lot of you guys were asking for that. That's on the website as well. There's a lot of good information on that website as well. Like I said, it's not just like a consulting website or anything. Let's see, make sure I'm not missing nothing. How's it going? Parth man, I hate butchering names. I'll just call you Parth. Said, hey man, I started a pest control business beginning of this year. We are 2 weeks in, have made $1,500 so far. Good stuff. The orders were coming in, but now have stopped. What can I do to increase my sales? Also, what kind of pricing do you do for contracts with apartments, food, restaurants? So like commercial, essentially. Commercial, it's gonna vary. Like you said, apartments are like their whole own behemoth. Restaurants I really like because restaurants are very dependable. They know they need pest control service. The pricing, if you get restaurants that have been using companies that are cheap and they suck, they're willing to pay you more. They'll tell you up front. I've had many of them tell me that, your price is definitely a lot more. but the service is obviously much better, right? And that's where, like, we tell them, yeah, no, most definitely, you definitely get what you pay for, and we provide the best service like you've seen. And then of course, you have the other side of it where they won't go with you because of that. And then that's where I just tell them, well, whenever you get tired of dealing with these cheap companies, just give us a call, right? But yeah, they're all, when it comes to the commercial side, gonna be, their own different thing. In terms of going back to how you said, how can I increase my sales? Getting a ton of reviews for your Google business profile. If you're not already signed up for Google local service ads, get signed up for that ASAP. Usually takes a couple weeks to get that set up, but get that set up as soon as possible. Of course, you can do things like running Google ads and things of that nature if you have the budget to do so. If you don't, I'd probably stick with pay per lead early on with like Google local service ads. Dare I say something like Thumbtack or Angie, things of that nature. Assuming you're very early on, you probably have a lot of time to answer the phone, so things like Angie and things like that may be good for you early on. It's hard to say, but that is where I would start. And then of course, the long-term stuff is creating content, not just on your website, but on social media, all of them, from TikTok to Facebook to Instagram, all of that stuff. And when I say create content, I mean just create content. I'm not saying you have to shove advertising money into it. I'm just saying, like, create content, maybe do Q&A, like frequently asked question videos or blogs, things of that nature. Just stuff that, is going to get people's attention ultimately. What is the Discord group link? Can you please provide? So yeah, any of the links that I talk about too, for like Facebook, Discord, all that, they're in my LinkTree, which should be, I believe, in the description of this stream. Let me double check that for you guys. And hopefully you guys are enjoying the stream so far. If you are, do me a favor, smash that thumbs up button. So yeah, there's a link in there that says my LinkTree. It's like the third link down in the description box. If you click that, I can like walk you guys through it real quick. So if you click that, it may take you out of the YouTube video. It's hard to say. But if you click that, you'll see where it says, you'll scroll down and it'll say Pest Control Entrepreneurs Facebook group. That'll take you straight to the Facebook group. And then it'll say Discord group. That should take you straight to the Discord group. And then there's other links in there, like links to our podcast. What else? We got links to the podcast, link to TikTok. Get your 2 weeks of GorillaDesk Pro for free as well, for those of you that are considering using GorillaDesk. They gave us like an affiliate link. We, if you end up deciding you like GorillaDesk, you stay with it, we get like a, little percentage or whatever, but you get the 2 weeks of GorillaDesk Pro for free as well, which I wish I got when I first started. And what else is on there? Link to my website, all that other type of stuff. So any links usually that I mention are going to be in my LinkTree, and if they're not in my LinkTree, I try to remember to link them in the description box for you as well. How's it going, Karate Chick? What is the difference between basic and advanced version of GorillaDesk? Let's see. There's a way that I can actually break that down for you. So if we go in to the two plans, so you have, now there's the growth plan as well, which I haven't even gotten into because I don't have the growth plan. But the basic plan, that is going to get you, as it sounds, the basic, bare minimum stuff, where the pro version, you get everything that's in the basic, as well as, things like GPS tracking, QuickBooks Online Sync, sales commission tracking. I'm trying to find some of the more important ones. The document e-signatures. Let's see, review generation tool, where like when you close out a job, you can send them your Google review link through email automatically, which from what I heard, Chris and their team is working on getting that to be text and email. Let's see, routing, how we talk about how you can route all of your jobs for a day, for a week, for a month, etc. That's in there as well. Stripe and Square integration, specifically because you have the integration in there as well, but specifically with subscriptions. Like for us, how a lot of our customers pay per month, pay per year, we can enter that in as a subscription instead of just, a standard sell every month. And that will actually save us a little bit on our payment processing as well. Online booking with a customer portal. Of course, like we said, all of the basic features. And then Zapier integration, which is a huge deal. We've talked about on this channel a few times how we will integrate, our Google Ads campaign and things of that nature with GorillaDesk. So the moment that we get off the phone with somebody, it is entered into GorillaDesk as a lead. Like, for example, this says inbound leads unavailable. That's because it was a spam call. I'll just end up going in there and erasing it. But instead of having to actually hand type in everything, we just literally pull up GorillaDesk, go over to leads, convert them from a lead to a customer, assuming we sold them, add the address, you're good to go, right? And then, of course, now you have the growth plan as well, which is like its whole other thing that I'll probably convert to at some point, but pretty much it is like a VoIP service where, how we talk about how we use CallRail and OpenPhone. It's similar to those. It just puts it all into GorillaDesk instead. The only thing is it is expensive. It's like $300 a month. Not gonna lie, a little expensive for my liking for that, which is why we're not using it. We have OpenPhone, which is like $10 to $20 a month, and along with CallRail for the actual marketing tracking. And that's the other thing, using this, at least as far as I know, as of a couple months ago when this first came out, because this is still a new program that they just launched as well. As far as I know, you still have to use CallRail in terms of marketing. So, if this was $2.99 and it would make it where I don't need CallRail, so I could wipe out CallRail, wipe out OpenPhone, I'd probably go ahead and do that, because when I combine the two, they're already about $150 a month on average for us. So for an extra, even then, it's still kind of expensive in my opinion. If it could be $1.99 or even $2.25 a month, and like I said, it makes it to where I don't need CallRail anymore, then it'd be worth it. But right now, in my opinion, the Pro version is still the best plan. And that's only $99 a month. And that's what we've been using for over 3 years now. So hopefully that answers that question. Can you did that a little late? WTF, go. How's it going? Yeah, no, you're just fine. Last time I checked, let's see. Oh, last time you talked about Google, you were only doing local ads. Are you doing PPC now? Yeah. We've been doing PPC since late November. We paused them, of course, during the holidays, but yeah, we've been running some PPC. We've been running some PPC campaigns for a minute. Did I save this? I want to save it before I exit. I'll show you kind of what we got going on here, because I think it's been a while since you hopped in. We can go over here. We got all of our campaigns up and running. So like I said, we've been running it since sometime right around the end of November. Let's see. So yeah, right around the end of November, like I mentioned, is when we started. We paused them, like I said, during the holidays, and got them fired back up ever since. Which ever since the beginning of the year, the CPC has been a little out of control, I should say. Let's see. Said Arson, that's his whole channel. Oh, you're talking about yeah, pretty much. Angel said, I'm sorry for the unrelated question. No, you're good. Here in California, it has been a long and sometimes confusing process to get my business approved. Huh. Did Texas make you wait many months? No, I was, man, I mean, like I said, for those of you that don't know my story, quote unquote, I worked for Terminex for about 2 to 3 years roughly, and then lost my job 4 days before becoming certified. Like, I had to take the test still on Halloween of 2020, which was a Saturday. If you don't believe me, go back and look at the calendar. Halloween, bam, Saturday. I remember it like it was yesterday. Had to take the test, and luckily I passed them all. I literally went online that weekend, filled out my LLC, EIN, all that stuff with the IRS, all that fun stuff. Monday, Tuesday that week, went to downtown Dallas to do some of like the DBA paperwork and do some of the whole Secretary of State stuff to, show like register with them, I guess. Did my Texas Controller stuff, which is online as well. Pretty much it took me 3 to 4 days to have my business from the moment I passed my exams to having my business up and running. It took 3 to 4 days. And if I hadn't have started on a weekend and it was in the middle of the week, probably would have took 2 days, in all honesty. And that was also because, of course, I already met the requirements. I had my time, my experience as a technician, and then, I had passed the exam, so I was a certified applicator. But in terms of, assuming that, you're quote unquote qualified, we are talking California though, right? So pest control companies cannot register. I heard that as well. I just found that out today. As a matter of fact, I saw somebody post about that in another, I forget what group it was, either the Bug Bucks community or pest control professionals, something like that. California, right? Gotta love it, gotta love it. How are the calls and leads in Texas this time of year? Man, it's day to day. I'll tell more so week to week. Like there'll be some weeks, like this week has sucked. I don't know if it's because, of course, we had the freeze over the weekend and we're just now starting to thaw out. I know next week we're like getting 80% chance of rain almost every day next week. And we're going to be like in the 50s and 60s. So that'll probably get some stuff moving around. But, the week before this, I had like 3 possum calls, 1 or 2 rat calls, or no, 3 or 4 rat calls. As a matter of fact, like last week was booming for rodent activity, but like pest activity specifically has been non-existent. At least in terms of our leads coming in. But I will say, January and probably half of February are the slowest 4 to 6 weeks of the year for us. I'm hoping that running these Google ads throughout winter will kind of, bridge the gap. That's why I keep on updating you guys about all this, of course. But if we just look overall, going back to GorillaDesk, let's see, let's go, no, not the dashboard, let's see, reports. If we go to new customers and we go back, let's go back as far as we can. So I joined GorillaDesk January of 21. So this says 27, but in reality, it was closer to like February. It was like 5 to 10 customers. And again, this was my first like couple months in business because I started in November of 2020, right? So we'll start at 2022, I guess. Yeah, look, January of 2022, 8 total new customers, 9, and then of course the boom in the spring and summer. 2023, a little bit of an increase, 16 and 19, but I should preface that with a lot of rodent work in those months. 2024 so far, we're pretty much dead on halfway through the month. 8 new customers total. And again, that's not like recurring or anything like that. That's just just saying total active customers that we've done some type of service for. 8 new customers in January. So we'll see. I'll keep you guys updated on how January goes, how the Google ads seem to go in January, But January and February, as you can expect, are not the best. Let's see. Nowhere else is like California. Used to have two branch there. Yeah. Couldn't pay me enough to go to California right now. maybe 30 years ago. Maybe. That's a strong maybe. I don't know because I wasn't alive. But, well, I was almost alive. I'm coming up on 30. But, yeah, no, right now, oh, man, God bless you all. Someone's got to do it out there. How's it going? Jonathan Blanco. What's the average lead cost for Pest and what's the close rate? That, I'm assuming you're talking about Google Ads. I mean, if you're talking just across the spectrum, then of course that answer is going to vary, based on, and even with Google Ads, it's going to vary based on seasonality, what the campaign goals are, in terms of like what type of customer you're looking for. Well, you said pests, so I'm going to assume just general pests. I'm not going to assume wildlife, termite, things of that nature. Generally speaking, if you want an average number for like Google Ads, if I were to just average the whole year, I would say the average cost per lead is anywhere, at least for me, which again, like I'm still learning. I'm not like a Google Ads expert or whatever you want to call it, but my average cost per lead, if I were to average it out, would probably be around I don't even want to say 100. I'd say 50 to $100, depending on, again, seasonality and things of that nature. And then, the closing rate, because I think you asked about closing rate too. Let me pull it up here. Average lead cost and closing rate. Yeah, so yeah, the average lead, like I said, is going to be 50 to $100 generally. And the closing rate, depending on, again, what we're selling, if we're talking just standard GPC, it's pretty high. I mean, we're talking 60 to 80%. Again, a lot of variables that go into that, but, generally north of 60%. If we're trying to sell, one of our upper tier packages like our 5-star or preferred protection plan, something where we're covering termite, rodent, general pests, the full 9 yards, then the closing rate usually goes down considerably to about 40 to 50%. But if you're wondering about like cost per acquisition is generally, $100 to $300. Just from, again, my experience so far. Parth said, when you started off, how did you first grow your business? Were ads your primary growth contributor? Google local service ads specifically. So my first year, 2021, is this damn thing not working? There we go. If we go over to 2021, you can see on this graph, why is it doing that? Okay. If we look over here, you'll see Google local services, pretty much 2/3 of our business, in terms of new customers, I should say. Google, Google organic, I should say, like, our Google business profile, about 1/4 of it. Facebook from like referrals, posting in groups, things of that nature, less than 2%. Door hangers, it was like, again, like 1 or 2 customers, nothing even really worth mentioning. Next door, some referrals, website. When I say website, again, this was like when I first started the company, so I was more so just tracking things by literally asking people, where now, we have it where it'll tell us down to everything, like it says Google Business Roulette twice, but that's because one is like manually entered, where the other is through our Zapier integration. Either way, we have it broken down even to our exact web address. Like when it says UTM campaign equals GMB, that means it came from the Google Business Profile as well. That's why it says GMB, Google My Business, which means they clicked on the link from my Google Business Profile. So that means, in essence, so far, even this year, 75% of new customers this year have come from Google Business Profile. Keyword pool means they found us online through like just standard organic Google search. NA, I don't know why the hell anything would be on NA right now. We need to figure that out, but that would only be one of the customers, because like I said, we only have 8. If we scroll back over here, only 8 new customers added this month. So one of them, for some reason, hasn't been tagged yet. I'll have to get that figured out. But I believe that's the one that came from our Google ad, and if so, that means that something's not firing right in Zapier. But yeah, going back over 2022, give you another idea. Google organic 54%, Google local services tanked 4%. Google business profile, our Plano location that we opened up in 2022, I think it was it 22 or 23? 22. Around 2%. Next door, around 2%. Referrals, 3.5%. Website, 22. Wildlife control website, because we were on a wildlife lead generation website, 9%. Yahoo search, Yelp, and NA again. That's what I like about GorillaDesk. It makes it where you can track a bunch of this stuff, especially once you start, putting integrations in place like Zapier and all this type of stuff. That way, you can track, what is paying for itself first and foremost. Yeah, pretty cool. Like, just to take a look at all that. But yeah, no, like I said, if you go back to our first full year in business, Google local services, 100%. We're paying on average probably $40 a lead. We were closing, like, again, 60 to 80% of them, at some months even more. And then it just slowly but surely, right around here was when I was noticing, I was like, man, our leads are going down. And I was like, well, seasonality, we're starting to head into fall. Like, I wasn't thinking much of it. But when we went from 20 to 4, I was like, all right, we need to figure something out outside of Google local services, because Google local services is not, going into 2022 even, really helping us. And then you can see we started to kind of figure things out. Obviously 2023, 2023 was kind of a reset year, because we were booming. And then I made me being totally vulnerable here and being totally humble here, I fucked up. I made a decision to move into the house that we currently live in. It raised our cost of living by about 25 to 35%. And not to mention, we had a baby on top of that in May. We moved in May. Like, it was just a bad decision this past year. It is what it is. But, we still had a lot of organic stuff coming in. But my whole point in saying that is in terms of paying for advertising, you can see, 0.5% of new acquisitions came from ads. Less than 4% came from any Google ads, specifically our quarterly pest promo. Outside of that, it was all organic. Facebook organic, our Google My Business page organic, our website. Again, stuff that, wasn't paid for. It was just me putting in SEO grit, right? Building the website, continuing to perfect our local SEO with our Google business profile. If it wasn't for doing those things, I mean, we would have done horrible. Now, again, we had our seasonality dip like usual, but now that we're starting to get the funds to put in money for Google ads, Google local, or not Google local services, but Google business profile just had a huge update that I don't want to say has totally helped us, but the verdict is still out. Let's put it that way, because now from about, I would say 7 p.m. until about 8 or 9 a.m. we are pretty much number 1 through number 3 in the map pack, within a 7 to 10 mile radius, which is great. We get a lot of leads now. I say a lot, like we get leads coming in overnight that, we wake up in the morning before I head out, we call them up, try to sell them, things of that nature. I think it has helped us, but the verdict is out because I feel like it has kind of hurt our rank during the day. So I'm kind of tracking that. It literally changes hour by hour now. You can check your rankings on a tool like Local Falcon, who we use, or Bright Local, like who we used in the past. And you could literally update that shit every hour, and you're gonna have a totally different map each time you do your keyword search. So definitely some crazy things going on with the Google Business Profile rankings, but overall, I would say it's been kind of a net zero, maybe even a slightly net gainer for us. But yeah, those are kind of our main ways that we have gained business. Let's see. Is it one time or monthly? What are you referring to, Jonathan? Because I know you asked about what's the average lead cost for Pest. And like, I know you were asking about like the closing rates and lead costs. Are you saying like, is the service for one-time service that we're selling or monthly? Because if so, we don't sell monthly, and we don't even sell one time really anymore. We don't bring up one time. We will sell one time if we have to, just to try to, you know, close the sale, right? But how we pitch it is we pitch the yearly payment, and then if they don't want to pay the yearly payment, then we will pitch the monthly payment for a quarterly service. And then, you know, if we can tell they're kind of leaning towards wanting to pay as they go or just do one service altogether, then we'll sell one time. Now, obviously, there are different services that we offer that are just one time, like a wildlife removal or a liquid termite treatment. But even liquid termite treatment, we're going to try to sell them on Pest and Termite, or at the minimum, a termite renewal plan where they pay once a year. We try to stay away from one times as much as possible, just because they're not going to really grow our business or add to our evaluation at the end of the day. What kind of seasonal programs do you sell? Seasonal. That's a good question. I don't really adjust anything based on the season. However, I would say that my ads, in terms of the ad copy, like the headlines and the description thing, the offer, right? That changes based on the season, because obviously when the phone is ringing off the hook already during spring and summer months, spring specifically, right? Where we're not as quote unquote desperate for leads. Like if anything, we're almost too busy there for a few months. What we're offering is a lot less. Like maybe instead of saying get your first service on us, we'll say get $50 off your first service, or get your first service for $79. Don't really like to use the ones where we'll say flat out like get your first service for X, unless if it's for free, right? Which don't freak out, you know, you make the math work on the free thing. You know, that's where if you want it for free, you're paying for the full year, right? I can break that down for you guys in another video, or even right now if you guys want to see how that math works. But in terms of like the seasonality, like I said, you know, in the winter, fall and winter, where we're really just wanting to keep making sure that we keep adding to our business, we will offer a lot more, like, you know, get your first service for free, where during those spring and summer months where we're just busy, you know, through our SEO efforts organically, we won't offer as much. We'll just offer $50 off. We'll say, you know, get a free pest inspection. We'll, you know, it kind of gets, I don't want to say dummied down, but we're just not offering as much, and we're not willing to pay as much either for these leads. Like I will actually adjust my CPC in terms of, or not CP, or yeah, CPC, my cost per click. I'll actually lower what I'm willing to pay, because I'm like, I mean, yeah, like I want to still get leads from this, but it's not gonna really hurt my business if we don't at the same time. Like if we notice a drop in leads specifically from our ads, it's not really the end of the world. See an idea of the customer lifetime value. Yeah. Let me actually open up a notepad so we can actually, I would do it on the board, or here. Why don't I just do this? I can just go in here, bada boo, And then, we can do it like this. Let me adjust this little ghetto setup we got going. You guys can still hear me pretty well. Let's see. Can y'all see the whiteboard? Yep. Okay. And I still got the chat pulled up as well where I can see it on my screen here, on my screen here. So if you have any questions as we go, I don't know why my camera from time to time will kind of, you know, have that weird little glitch. Another thing that we're trying to work on in production setup for y'all. But if you have any questions like about how these numbers break down as well, don't hesitate to let me know in the chat. Let me get this whiteboard adjusted here. Give me just a second. Oh, set that a little bit. And there we go. Let's see. Do you sell packages, etc.? I mean, that's where the whole paying for the service for the year would come in. If that's kind of what you're asking, like, or 3-month rodent control. No, like I won't do just for month. Like the only time we get into that is if they have like German roaches, right? We'll sell that as like a 3 treatment plan, things of that nature. Occasionally, if a customer will ask about it, like say they're moving, you know, they're in a rental and they're going to move in like 6 months, and we'll say, oh, okay, well, you know, we can cover you for that full 6 months. Like we will do it based on what the customer needs, but you know, we have kind of our standard that like this is because when you start doing all these different packages, one, it makes it harder on your sales team, regardless if it's just you or a spouse or people that you're hiring, or, you know, it doesn't matter who's selling for you. It just makes it more difficult because, you know, you're going to be constantly doing this. Well, we can do this. Oh, well, you don't like that? Well, we can do this. Well, we can do that. Like, you know, you want to kind of have, I don't want to say cookie cutter service, but to a large degree, that is what it is. Like, you know, you have kind of your standard, and then from there, you know, it's the salesman's job to feel out, you know, what the customer's need is, and then pivot from there. So hopefully that kind of answers that question. But yeah, to break down, I'm assuming we're talking about giving the service away for free. So I'll just say, you know, oh, of course, this damn marker is dead. Throw that away. Let's see. There we go. That's a little bit better. We'll just say winter promo. You know what? That marker's dead too. Throw that away too. I got plenty of markers here, so we'll go through as many as we need to. But like I said, we'll just call this our winter promo, which is pretty much what it is. Like I said, it's only ran during the winter months, right? So how it works, like we said, we'll say get your first service for free. I have to tell my daughter to stop messing with my damn markers. Get your first service for free. So how it works is, let's say we're dealing with a customer who has ants, right? They have ants. It's a 2,000 square foot, 2,500 up to 2,500 square foot home. Pretty standard home. Pretty much how it would break down, because if they want to pay per month, the first service would normally cost, what we tell them is, God, this is ridiculous. What we'll do is we'll tell them, you know, or we don't tell them, this is just the math for us on the back end. You know, normal service is going to cost during season, you know, $129, and then plus, you know, that's a standard size home, so, you know, $39 per month going forward, right? So then, hopefully you guys can see that all right. $129, $39 a month. That's going to come out to, what does that come out to? Let me pull up my calculator here for you guys. 39 times 11 plus 129, that's going to come out to $558. If I can write. $558 that first year is what it would come out to if they're going to go the monthly route. Or what we can do is we're making the first service free, and instead you're taking that $39 that you're going to pay over 11 months, 39 times 12 equals $468 first year, or whatever price you want to name it at the end of the day. And you don't even again, this is just the math for us on the back end. Like, all that we're telling them is look, with the first service for free, your total for the year is going to come out to $468 plus tax for the year. And if they're like, oh, well, you know, I don't really want to pay for the year up front, well, that's fine. You know, we also have another promo that this is where, again, you're adjusting on the fly. You have a script, ideally, for this, objection, if you want to stick with sales terms. That's where you say, okay, I hear you, I understand. You know, we totally understand that. You know, not everyone has just $500 laying around right now. You know, the average American doesn't even have $400 in their savings account. So, you know, we also have a promo going on right now where instead of that first service that's normally going to cost the $129 like we were talking about, just for you right now, we can go ahead and do that for $49 to get started. And then you're still just going to be charged, you know, your normal $39 a month going forward. How's that work out for us? 39 times 11 plus 49, 478. So what happened there? We actually made an extra $10. Ooh, what was I writing? We made, quote unquote, an extra $10. I mean, it's not the, and I mean, if you want to, you can make this $39 just because, you know, you want to equal it out, right? It doesn't really matter either way. The whole point is you want to make the offer seem so irresistible that they feel stupid turning it down. The reason that we prefer the yearly is because customers that are willing to pay for the year almost never cancel, from my experience. They almost never cancel. Now, obviously, the bigger you get, you're going to naturally incur more cancels. People are going to move. People are going to lose jobs. People are going to, you know, die, right? You know, it's life. People die. But, you know, that first year, you're really not making, quote unquote, bank per se. Like we were talking about, you know, say your average cost per acquisition, right? CPA, let's call it 125. If your cost per acquisition is 125 and your first year revenue, well, I'm just going to put first year equals, you know, 468, right? That brings this down to 343 if I recall, just based on math I did on this in the past. So you got 343 as your well, that'd be, I guess, your gross margin, because that's not factoring in, of course, your cost to actually put the chemical down and, you know, pay technicians, pay the taxes, pay payroll tax, which hopefully you all vote smart this year and we'll vote for somebody that's going to eliminate payroll tax, but that's a different subject for a different channel. But, you know, that first year, we factor in an average cost of $50 per service. So $50 times 4, that's going to be $200. That factors in all costs. That means the first year, you're only going to make about $143. AKA, not shit. It comes out to like, less than $50 a month, right? Like 40. Oh, someone help me out. Was that 45 maybe? Like 45, 46 bucks. I'll just call it $45. I know it's slightly more or maybe even less. I don't know. It's right around $45 per service net profit. However, this again is first year. This isn't lifetime value. So if we're gonna, let me make sure the chat's still working. If you guys have any questions or anything throughout this, don't hesitate to drop it in the chat as well. So let's keep this in mind. Keep in mind that our profit after expenses, taxes, everything, $143 a year. Or let's also keep in mind that again, 468, 125 CPA, and like we said, $143 that first year. So I'm gonna write that off to the side as well. CPA 125, which again, this can be higher. I mean, I've paid as much as like 350. But we're just doing low to average numbers, 100 to 200 bucks. First year 468. First year, we'll say NM net margins, that's going to be 143. Again, just for kind of our record. From there, again, the beauty of having them pay per year is they, one, like we said, don't cancel often. Two, we have detached the price from the service. What does that mean? That means because they're being charged once a year, they're not going to remember. Now, don't get me wrong with what I'm about to say. If you take advantage of this, one, you're a piece of you're a POS, and two, they're going to cancel, right? Because this gives you more flexibility to raise this after the first year, in which we do. We raise it every single year for the most part. There's a couple of them this year I'm not raising because we did raise them considerably last year after the inflation we had. But we raise them pretty much every year by about 3 to 10%, depending on inflation. So let's say that 468 next year is going to become, we'll just say 495, right? So we're in year 2 now, right? So now it's 495 for the year. And again, if we're doing that average of $50 per service to service, 200 bucks roughly, or you know what, we got to factor in some inflation for that too. Let's just say, 210 is what we'll say. That'd be what? That'd be 5% inflation, which right now is pretty spot on. Hopefully not long term, right? But 210 for your cost. That brings your net margin to, 285? So now our second year net margin, and I know my handwriting is not the best, it's 285. So your second year, your net margin on that service just doubled. And again, that's assuming you only raise the price $27, right? You can raise it to, I have customers where, say they're a pain in the ass. Guess what? That rate is probably going from 468 to probably 549 the next year. Again, it's up to whoever's making that call, their decision. And I also wanted to put here, second year, the gross, the 495, right? Now, again, depending on your business specifically, your LTV in terms of how long you can expect them to be a customer is obviously going to depend on a lot of things, your service quality, right? Let's just be real, who's actually servicing the client. Mostly customer service overall. Obviously, in some areas where the population may be less fortunate than others, there's going to be a lot of variables that go into that. But, my average, we've been in business now over 3 years. My average LTV for recurring customers right now is around 2.7. I have a couple customers cancel per year, usually around the holidays, not surprising, but overall, ours stay for a pretty long time. We create very, very, very loyal customers. And from what I understand across the industry, you can expect anywhere between 4 to 9 years as your expected customer. So, let's just go again because I like to go based on my experience now. And of course, these numbers will change year after year after year as I'm in business longer and longer and longer. Like next year, the average LTV will probably be like 3.6, right? 3.6, 3.7, because I'll have a whole nother year, right? But again, I just want to go based off of numbers that I know for a fact for my business today, just to give you guys an idea in terms of the whole LTV conversation. So if we paid, keep in mind again, we paid 125 to get this customer. Our first year was 468. Our next year was 495. Let's say they do cancel after 2 years, right? So we have 468 plus 495. That comes out to, and again, this assumes you're selling just general pest control. This doesn't assume you ever upsell them. This doesn't assume that you actually end up selling them on a what we call preferred protection plan, where we're selling them on everything. This just assumes standard general pest control, right? That comes out to 963. Subtract your 125. Subtract your cost. Oops. To service. That comes out to 428. I said NOI. NOI, net margin, net operating income, net, quote unquote profit, whatever terminology you want to use at the end of the day. You turned $125 into 428. And again, like we said, that's kind of the most basic way to kind of break it down. Now, again, like I said, the average I'm hearing is about 7 years. So if you want to say that over 7 years, your average contract value is, say our average is $700, and say they're a customer for 7 years, that's going to be $4,900, right? Let's say again, you got to subtract your cost per acquisition. You got to subtract. Now again, with this, we have some other things like Trelona refills, rodent station refills, things of that nature. So we'll probably increase this just a little bit. We'll say like 230, about $230 a year. So 230 times 7, and again, that's being extremely liberal on that number. So that'd be 1,000. And this assumes again that you have employees, because obviously most of you are going to end up wanting employees longer term. Let's see. So 4,900 minus 1610 minus 125. That comes out to a LTV in terms of actual profit, not just like gross profit or anything, but like net margins of $3,165 divided by 7 years, $452. And the oh so important 14 cents per year. I love math. Let's see if I missed anything. That service was the 60 to 80% close rate. Yeah. So this 700, like I said, this is my average contract value. That's my average contract value. Hopefully you guys don't hear my dogs down there freaking out. My average contract value, like for my entire customer base, is right around 700 last I looked. It may be in the like upper sixes, like 680, 690, but somewhere around like $700. And the other one that we broke down, that operation where it's like 468 and then what, 495, like the first one that we were looking at, that was the one that closes like cupcakes, like where I mean, I could almost put my 4 or 5 year old on the phone and she could sell it. Like, I mean, that's where you're just literally answering the phone and, yeah, I'm dealing with ants. Okay, this is our solution. Okay, when can you come out? Like, I mean, in all honesty, a lot of times it will, I mean, 60-80% is probably being conservative with the estimate. I need to break that down sometime. As a matter of fact, I need to go in and actually look at, our lead to close ratio and see actually what our true percentage comes out to, because like I said, I mean, I'm kind of, I don't want to say guesstimating, but I know for a fact that at the minimum it's like 60%, at the max it's probably closer to 80-85%. But I mean, we may get on some hot stretches there where it's like 90-95%, just because like I said, it's all about how you word the deal. And if the deal is good enough, then you make it to where they almost feel, I don't want to say stupid, but they do kind of feel almost a little dumb to not take that offer, right? What does the higher upsell services look like? Thank you for taking your time breaking this down. Yeah, no, most definitely. I always, and I never seen anyone like I came up with that like on my own too. Like I didn't see anyone break it down. Like I was just one day, because obviously when you first start your business, you have all the time and you have all the time in the world to do that kind of stuff, just kind of play around with different numbers, packages, bundles, whatever you want to call them. And I was like, damn, like why don't I start just packaging the deal like this? And sure enough, as we started messing around with stuff, doing it like that, closing rate went up to a large degree. In terms of the higher upsell service, like it's a combo, and I have a whole video on that as well. I'll let me do this as a matter of fact. We'll go in here really quick. And I'll have to be getting off here because I think the fam just showed up, but I wanted to pull that video up for you guys really quick, and I'll post it in the chat. Let's see. What's it called? How to get 1,200 per pest control customer. Surely YouTube search is smart enough to show my video up on that search relatively quickly. No, Miss Rachel, I don't have my daughter in here right now. This is that video, by the way, that I was telling y'all should go watch. It's a good podcast with some good info in it. Where is my video? Damn it! I thought that YouTube would be smarter than this. Let me see. View your channel. Videos. Hey, I see we just hit 2.37. That means we must have gained a subscriber or two while we've been live. So shout out to any of you that have subscribed during the stream. Let me see. I'm trying to find this video just really quickly for you all. There we go. This one right here. We broke down in that video how to get $1,200 per contract. I'm gonna post it in the chat for you guys. I'm gonna post it and then I'll pin it that way. If it'll let me. Come on now. Oh my gosh, just because this freaking... Well, if someone can post something in the chat really quick. so that damn heart will get out of my way and I can pin it for you guys. Yeah, it's not even letting me do nothing with it. My God. But yeah, you guys can go watch it after the stream ends or whatever. That video, a lot of you guys really like that video. It breaks down entirely like how we package up our, termite, pest, rodent, and when I say rodent specifically, like rats and mice with the boxes, mosquito, like it's like a total bundle. And like I mentioned, I believe in that video, I mean, you can literally make that price whatever you want. Like, we have customers that are paying $185 plus tax a month for it. We have customers paying $125 a month plus tax for it. Like, it depends, of course, on the house. Like, we go out there, we measure around how many Trelona stations we're going to need to put out, how many rodent stations we're going to need to put out. Like, there's a lot that goes into it, right? It's not something that we'll necessarily price over the phone. We'll tell them the initial, like if we're running some type of an initial rate on it, say, something ridiculous like $99 initial for it, then, we will tell them that, yeah, to get it all set up as 99, which I can already tell you the math on that, it takes, if you're going that route, it takes about 3 to 6 months to really start making your money on that. But again, that's another set of customers where they do not cancel. My customers that are on that plan, I think I've had one over the last 2.5, because I've only been doing that plan for about 2.5 to 3 years now. It was like spring of 2021 is when I started that. So coming up on 3 years running that plan. But 2.5 to 3 years of running that plan, I can only think off the top of my head of one customer canceling it, and they moved. So that's another case of they just don't really cancel a service at the end of the day. So yeah, no, as always, I appreciate you all tuning in. If you haven't already, do me a favor. Like I said, smash that thumbs up button on the stream. It helps other people that are looking to start a pest business, service business, any type of business, find the channel. And if you haven't already, go ahead and hit that subscribe button, hit the bell icon, all of that good stuff as well. That way, of course, you'll be notified every time we go live or upload another video. I just realized my markers are in the background that I threw. Got to get some new ones for you all, apparently. But yeah, if you have any questions after this goes from a live stream to a video upload, then don't hesitate to drop them in the comments down below. Like I mentioned, if you're not already in our Discord group chat or Facebook group, those are totally free to join, and links to join them are in my link tree down below, as well as a bunch of other links that should be helpful for you guys. And if you're viewing this as a video instead of a live stream, I'll make sure to plug a video somewhere up in this area. Probably that $1,200 per contract video we were talking about. I'll plug that in right here. That way you guys can go watch that. Otherwise, I will see you all in the next one. Take it easy, everybody.